Welcome to Excel 2010 Statistics video number 22. Hey, if you want to download this workbook, Business 210 Excel 2010 Chapter 2, click on the link below the video. In this video, last video we saw how to do cross tabulation with a pivot table. This video we're going to see with a formula. This method is not required for testing in this class, but it's an important method nevertheless. In our last video, we did something like this with a pivot table. And it was easy to group, drag and drop, couple seconds if you're dragging and dropping and know what you're doing to create this. Now, we're going to come back over here. Here's a template I made. We had to have our lower and upper. I created a label and then put our payment method here. This is our age. So we're going to look at this data set here. Same data set we've been using for this whole chapter. A sample of 200 transactions from a Boomerang website. Sales give us our total. But here, we want to count with the formula cross tabulate. So for any intersection, 35 to 44 years old, how many people used PayPal? All right. So we're going to do this with the formula. We're going to use countifs. The only thing that's going to make this hard is that we have to use mixed cell references. And for this class, we are not required to use mixed cell reference. Really, this is a straight statistics class. But in case you're curious, here we go. Really, we're going to have three criteria here because we have greater than or equal to this, less than or equal to that, and American Express. So for any given cell, there'll be three criteria. So countifs comes in handy because we can have lots of criteria. So the first criteria range is going to be age. I scroll over. There's customer age. Control-Shift down arrow, F4. I'm going to use that twice, so I'm going to copy this. Control-C. All right, our criteria. In double quotes, greater than equal to, end double quotes, and we have to join it using our ampersand. So greater than or equal to what? The lower one. That's our criteria 1, comma, criteria 2, Control-V. Criteria range 2, and we're going to have our upper limit. So the criteria here will be in double quotes, less than or equal to, end double quotes, ampersand, the upper end. Now, let's think about this. We've actually done this formula in this class, but here, when we copy this M16 down, I need the green box to move. But when I move this way, I need it locked. Since we're moving across the columns and I want it locked on the M column, right? I'm going to put a $ there. I'm going to hit my F4 key. Notice my cursor's touching that cell reference. The F4 key is the toggle that toggles through all the different types of cell reference. Absolute, row only locked, column only locked, relative. So we want to leave it on column only locked. The same logic applies here. All right, so that's criteria 2, comma. Our third criteria range is going to be payment method. So I click there, Control-Shift down arrow, F4. All of the criteria ranges will be locked in all directions. There's the criteria range 3, comma, and our criteria. Well, it's simply this. Now let's think about this cell reference right here, P5. There it is. There's the criteria. When the formula copies down, we want it locked on American Express. So it's the 5 that needs to be locked down. Because as I move it down across the numbers, I need it locked on 5. But this P5, when I copy the formula over to Q, and then R, copying the formula this way, I need that green box to move. So no problem. I need to lock the row reference, but not the column. So F4 twice. And that'll be our formula for cross tabulation with 3 criteria. Control-Enter. I can drag it down and over. Now, the advantage, we talked about this in earlier videos. You do formulas when your data changes a lot, because formulas update immediately. Pivot tables, although it's easy to update pivot tables, if the data is changing all the time, it's a hassle to refresh. So that's how to do cross tabulation. Counting in our case with formulas. All right, we'll see you next video.